Let's move on to stress. Stress, when we get stuck in that sympathetic dominance, needs to be resolved, and there's ways to resolve that. We share a lot of these ways, but tonight I want to go really quickly through some of the most fastest and effective proven neuroscientific processes that will cool off this reptilian brain and cool off what we call sympathetic dominance, where the reptilian brain takes all of the blood glucose and energy out of the other parts of the brain. We see it on brain scans when someone goes into a sympathetic dominant state or a stress state. We see all of these intelligent parts of the brain switching off, and we see this reptilian brain firing up and pumping all of the energy out to the arms and the limbs so that it can fight and so that it can run. And most of us can't run when we're in our stressful situations. We can't run from tax problems. We can't run from business problems. We can't run from relationship problems, and we can't run from problems at work. So when this system switches on to either run or fight, and we can't fight or run in those situations, that's like driving a car with your foot on the brake and your foot on the accelerator at the same time. Something's going to break in the system. So we need to have ways where we can cool off these stress responses. And the fastest ways that I've learned in 22 years of studying, practicing, and teaching neuroscientific processes and hypnotherapy is breathwork, cold exposure, which is a cold shower and ice bath, or simply walking in nature. Now, we go into depth into many of our programs. We've got lots of free resources on our YouTube channel. We've got lots of free webinars out there if you're interested in that 5-day challenge. We go deep on these processes and how you can use them for yourself to be able to regulate your nervous system and how to modulate your brain, how you can take back control over your brain in a stress state. But the three most powerful ways that I've learned in 22 years is to either do breath work, any form of breath work, any form of controlling your breath has to switch on what we call the frontal lobe or the prefrontal cortex. And when we switch on this frontal lobe and prefrontal cortex and make the decision to switch on this part of the brain, this part of the brain communicates to the reptilian brain and says, I'm in control. So anytime you make a decision to do any pattern of breathing, do a cold shower, or make a decision to go for a walk, this part of the brain is literally taking over control of the reptilian portion of the brain, and that's going to switch you back into the parasympathetic nervous system. So if you're interested in that, check it out on the YouTube channels, check it out on the webinars, or join our 5-day challenge. That's where we're going to go deep and teach you the real stuff. But otherwise, go and jump in a cold shower if you're feeling stressed. I'm telling you, that's going to switch off this reptilian brain that loves to lay in the sun and lay in Netflix and lay in Uber Eats. That's going to cool off that system.